Abe, why do you think there are so few women on boards and as venture capitalists out there? We're all very optimistic that it will change. Why do you think it hasn't changed yet?
You know, there was, when I was at OpenText, one of my board members there said something to me that always stuck with me. It was about products, building products. And he said, there's two ways to look at products. One is you build something that requires a behavioral change, and you're probably going to be successful. But when you try to build something that requires a cultural change, you're going to be unsuccessful because it takes generations to change cultures. And I think that that's really true in this case. I think we're dealing with a culture that has accepted male dominance for ever and ever and ever. We're dealing with other cultures in Silicon Valley, different genders, different cultures, that have that problem in even bigger space, to a larger degree. It takes a long time to change a culture. It takes generations to change a culture. And I think that it's just difficult. If you have a bunch of guys who are running something and they say, and I see this in my company, a bunch of engineers get together and they say, we're only going to hire A players. Well, the definition of A players are people like themselves, right? So guys will hire guys. Women will hire women. Indians will hire Indians. Chinese will hire Chinese. This is why you see companies.
Affinity bias.
You have this tremendous bias.
Jeffrey Pfeffer has written about
it.
Yes.
And to think that you can just change that behavior when they go home at night, and it's built into their family structure, it's built into, so it takes a long time for cultures to change. But it has to start somewhere. And I had this conversation with Sonia about, 2 or 3 years ago. And I have my company does in-memory computing. It's a very technical software infrastructure, deep thing. And it's all guys, right? So it's even trying to interview women is hard. You can't even get them in the door. And I remember having this conversation with Sonia, and I said, it's just really hard to hire women. And she said, no, all you have to do is hire one. And she was completely right. We went from being like an all-male culture, we hired one woman, and all of a sudden we could hire more women. And it is so true. So cultural change is hard, but you have to start with behavioral change. And I think if you just get started, things start to happen.